Hi, and welcome or welcome back to the Future of SaaS Festival. We hope you're enjoying the presentation so far. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already a member of our Slack community, follow the link at the top of the event website to network and join the discussion. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. So this is our first presentation of day 2 of the Future of SaaS Festival. So hopefully you've tuned into yesterday's presentations as well and found something that you've enjoyed there. So we've got quite a lot lined up for you today. We've got a couple of panel discussions, a few keynotes, and different things that you can enjoy. So if you have a look on the event website, festival.futureofsaas.io, then you can see the different stages that are available. So you can check out which one suits your department, your job role, and your industry. At the moment, we have Oscar here. Unfortunately, we're having a few technical problems. So if you can just bear with us for a moment, we'll see if we can resolve those and get him here to do his presentation for you. Hi everyone, thanks for bearing with us. We're just trying to resolve Oscar's technical problems. So sorry that we haven't been able to bring him to you yet, but do let us know where you're tuning in from, any questions that you might have for Oscar. So what we'll do, if Oscar isn't able to join us for the presentation, we can put you can contact him in our Slack group, so do check that out. If you check on the event website, it's just at the top, it says join the community right in the corner. So you can click there, join our Slack community, chat with everyone and post your questions for Oscar there. We're going to give it another go to try and get Oscar in with us. So please bear with us for just a moment. Yes, I think we can hear you finally. That's amazing.
Cool. Sorry for that.
No worries. We've got your slides ready here. So thank you so much for joining us. And we may not be able to see you, but we can hear you now. So that's great.
Yeah, sorry for all the technical problems. You know, I always say that when you work in a tech company, you always have technical problems. Then sorry for that. A pleasure to be here today and to speak with all of you. My name is Oscar. I am the Chief of Staff and Senior Director of Strategy and Business Development at Typeform. And you know, I am here today to speak about a super interesting topic that is what we call meaningful company. But before that, let me share with you a quote that I love, that I think that summarizes really well what I think about meaningful company in this case. It's the following one. If you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. I think that that's a really interesting quote, because that shows that when you do your job, if you always apply the same perspective, the same methodologies, you always get to the same point. You never go ahead. Then when we work in the business world, when we work in a changing world like the one that we are living right now, you need to always change and iterate. And this is what we're going to do today. And we're going to begin working with a methodology or like a way, like a philosophy that it's called Ikigai, that is a Japanese concept that tries to summarize like everything in a way, in the following way. If you give a direction, a purpose of life to people, they will have a sense of fulfillment, a sense of meaning, and they will have satisfaction. Ikigai combines these 4 different elements: what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. As you can see, it's combining 2 key elements: your mind and your emotions, your mind and your heart, the rational and the emotional, and thinking about yourself and thinking also about the world. Can we use this personal philosophy in the business world? For sure that we can do it. And this is the example. You can apply the same in a business. What the business believes in, what makes difference to this business, what the business paid for, and also what the world needs from this business. Then, is Ikigai enough when we're in a company? Is Ikigai enough to really empower us and our employees to get to our goals? Is that true that if we have a sense of directions and purpose in life that give us a sense of meaning, we will have a sense of fulfillment? Well, today we're going to try to answer this question and see if that's enough or we need something else. Then the agenda of today is divided in the following way. We're going to speak about what's a meaningful company, then why you need a meaningful company, and we'll finish the presentation speaking about how you can make it happen. What's a meaningful company? That's the first part, and I would say one that it's really interesting. Then for me, a meaningful company, it's something that combines different elements. A meaningful company is about generating value. Meaningful is about generating value. And there are 3 different types of value: the customer value, the employee value, and the social value. And thanks of combining these 3 types of values, you get to the business value. The business value cannot exist if you don't generate customer value, employee value, and social value. In the business world, we tend to think that customer value is enough. But we're seeing right now in our day-to-day, and probably many of you are experiencing that you need the 3 of them to make sure that you are successful and that you generate the business value that you want to generate. It's important that value is created through experiences, the combination of social experience, employee experience, and company experience. And then when you combine the 3 of them is when you have a meaningful company. And keep in mind that to create these experiences, you need to make something that really can have an impact. And to have this impact, you need to create experiences that really are consistent and they are defined properly. Regarding the social area, you need to define how you want to impact the world. Regarding the customer area, you need to define how you treat your customers, how you solve your customer job. And from the employee area, you need to think about how we treat each other and how we work together. And then as you can see, it's about generating value through experiences and through creating the means that we can create the best possible experiences. Then how would you summarize meaningful? Then I would summarize it in the following way. For me, a meaningful company is a company that delivers what's expected of them, not only to customers, but also to employees. It's a company that empowers and improves the customers' and employees' well-being. And it's a company that contributes to a better society. Better society is this higher purpose that is part of the company itself. Then why do you need a meaningful company? Why do you need to combine these 3 different experiences to create this value that you want to create as a business? Well, I would say the main argument is the following one. You cannot create, sorry for the slides because the format has been changed when moving from Google Sheets to PowerPoint, but customer experience is equal to employee experience and employee experience is equal to social experience. Then we cannot create the proper customer experience for our customers if we do not have the proper employee experience for our employees and we don't have an impact and we create a social experience for our employees and also for the customers. Then at the end, the key means to this end, to create the best possible customer experience, is that the employee needs to feel empowered. We should see empowered there. Empowerment is the key element here. And why we need to empower employees because without empowered employees, we can deliver our vision. And that's really important. We can only deliver our vision if we have empowered employees that really can help us to deliver the customer experience. And they require, for sure, a social experience. The second element why we need empowered employees is for employee retention. We need to retain the best possible talent. And the only way of making it happen is through empowering them, motivating them, giving them this higher purpose, this sense of meaning, because then they will have a great sense of belonging. Of course, if we have empowered employees, we'll be able to do our job better and faster. We will be able to create alignment and engagement. And thanks to that, we will be able to move the company ahead. Then, how do you build a meaningful company? I would say that is the following equation. First of all, you need to win the employee value equation, because in that way, you will be able to later on build the customer value equation. And for both of them, you need to give them a sense of meaning and a sense of belonging. Then focusing on the employee value equation, because I think that is the most important one, is this element of empowerment. What do we mean by winning the employee value equation? We mean the following thing. We mean that you need to keep your people, your employees, the people that are the most important for you at the end, that's the people that is working with you, to make smart decisions thanks to common values, principles, norms, and mutual accountability. It's about inspiring them to have meaningful collaboration with their colleagues and with their customers also, because in that way they will be able to generate the best possible results. And it's about giving them a higher purpose, something that goes further than themselves and even farther than the company, and because in that way you will generate a sense of meaning and also a sense of fulfillment. Now we know what's meaningful, a meaningful company, and what a meaningful company is about. It's about making your employees feel empowered. It's about empowering your employees. And now we're going to speak about how we do it, how we do that in Typeform, and how we would recommend you to do that in this case. Then to empower your employees, you need to give them certain things. And the first thing that you need to give them is a clear and consistent direction. It's what we call strategy. You need to have a clear strategy that really gives them the sense of where they are going and why they are going towards that direction. It's about having this identity, making clear that you know which problem you are solving and you know how you're going to solve it and how you're going to do that better than your competitors. And of course, never forgetting that what the world needs from us, because that's this higher end that will give a special meaning to our strategy. Without it, our strategy will miss a really important element. Once we know the direction that we want to take, once we know the strategy that is going to bring us, we need to go to the second key point. Clear and consistent way of working. We need to have a common understanding about which is our company and how our company works. It's what we call organizational design. It's to make sure that we align and we assess different aspects of how the company operates. First of all, you need to audit your organization, define the end goal where you want to go, and then connect the present and the future. And here you can see the 8 pillars that we use to make it happen. When you analyze all these pillars, you really can understand in which situation you are right now and in one you want to be in the future. And then you can have an action plan. Then we have a strategy, we have a way of working. What else do we need? We need clear and consistent expectations and behaviors. People need to know what you expect from them. People need to know what you want them to do and how you want them to do. Your employees require that from you. Then please give it to them. How do you give it to them? Setting clear expectations about 3 key elements. Engagement, which type of motivation and attitude you expect from me. Accountability and responsibility. I give you rights, but I ask for duties too. And always thinking about which outcome you want to achieve. By combining the 3 of them, you can really give a sense, give a meaning to getting things done, to get the job done, and to help them do their best possible job. Strategy, way of working, expectations, and behaviors. But how do we know if we have an empowered employee base? How do we know that they have everything that they need to make things happen? Well, we need to have a clear and consistent way of measuring empowerment, an empowerment measurement. And for that reason, we created in Typeform what we call the empowerment score. is a criteria that allow us to understand in which situation we are regarding empowerment. Based on this methodology, we can build a baseline, and then from this baseline, we can begin to launch actions and iterate and see how this empowerment is changing, how this is evolving. We have multiple areas to analyze empowerment, but the five ones that we have seen that are more important are inspiration, having the right management, belonging, resources to make their job, and collaboration. And by acting and implementing new actions and always measuring how these actions are impacting all these different elements, we can really know if we're empowering our employees or not, and how we can keep progressing and improving. Strategy, a way of working, clear expectations and behaviors, a measurement about empowerment, and finally, you need something that we tend to forget when we are in the business world. You need to have a clear and consistent way of changing. Change management is the most difficult thing that you do when you are in a business. Then let me give you a small, simple way of making sure that you change in the best possible way. Because if you want to generate more empowerment, if you want to evolve, you will need to change. And change is painful, even if it's positive. Then how you drive change? There are three key elements in change. Urgency. You need to say and you need to reinforce why you need to change and why now. Why now? Super important, because if not, change doesn't happen. Second thing is clarity. Why you want to change and why you want to change it. And finally, creating the key incentives to make it happen. Sometimes change is good, sometimes change is necessary, but it's too difficult. I don't have the right incentives to make it happen. Then I don't do it. Then by combining urgency, clarity, and incentives, we are sure that everything that we change in the right direction and in the best possible way, even if it's difficult. Then we have spoken about all these ways of building this meaningful company, because getting to a meaningful company is not something that you will get in one day. It's a combination of actions that you do over time, always keeping in mind the three elements that we said before: employee experience, customer experience, and social experience. Then how do you empower your employees? First of all, making sure that they know who you are. You give them a strategy and an identity. Second thing, making sure that you work with them to define how you get things done through organizational design and to also expectations and behavior. And finally, you have a way of driving change. The first element of driving change, know where you are, know how to measure that you are moving the metrics. And finally, having the best possible way of changing, a change management system. Then you will say, wow, Oscar, thank you very much. If I explained as many things and we are not sure what you meant with all of that, then which is the final message that I want to share with you today? Well, we spoke about Ikigai at the beginning. This concept that comes from a completely different area, comes from a Japanese philosophy, that it's about combining your mind and your heart, your internal person and the external world. Then we were asking, is that enough really to create a sense of fulfillment? Maybe in a personal way, yes. But the answer in a business way is that no. Ikigai gives you a sense of meaning, connects yourself in two ways, rational and emotional, with the world, but doesn't give you the tools to make them happen. Meaningful in the business world is about making sure that you put together this rational and this emotional, and you give it the tools to really make it happen. Because it's not only about yourself, it's also about all the people that's working with you, because all together we built this meaningful company, and then we can reach the company goals. Then at the end, meaningful is about empowerment, is equal to empowerment, and is equal to combining your Ikigai, the company Ikigai, and the systems that will help you to make everything happen. Because in that way, you will be able to create customer value, employee value, and social value that will end creating customer value. Then that's all what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much for being here today and for listening to me. I hope you found it interesting. The idea today was to give you this overall framework and the way that we're trying to implement it in Typeform. And happy to answer some questions. In this case, more than happy. And if you want anything, you can always contact me in an email. And as you can read here, please ask me about how I feel and the things that I'm passionate about, this politics, Barca, and cinema. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Oscar. It was really interesting, and I'm sure it's really useful for people, especially at this kind of changing time when everyone's got to embrace change to move forward. So we do actually have a question from one of our attendees here, Jackie. Obviously, we've all got some big changes about to happen with the world opening up again. What's the best way to make the most of the changes that have already happened going forward? And Jackie's given the example of remote working.
What I would say is that, like, again, coming back to the first quote, if you change the way that you look at things, the things that you would see will change. And for me, that's one of them. Like remote work, can be painful. Remote work can be complicated. Remote work will always, or is seen by many companies as something that is problematic. But what I would say is remote work is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to change the way that you have of working. Why do you need to make everybody go to an office to work and sitting together in the same seats? Why don't you change the concept of your business, of your office, and instead of being a place where you go to work, is the place where you go to think, to create, to co-create. At the end, what I would say, is by applying, by changing the mentality from, well, this is a problem, this is difficult, to, okay, this is what the world is offering to me, this is what is in front of me, and then taking advantage of it is the best possible way of building the most meaningful company, because at the end you will be giving an answer to what your employees want.
Absolutely, sort of answering the big questions there, and as you say, sort of adapting to the world, making the most of the world that you're in, rather than sort of trying to force forward in a world that doesn't exist, is very important. So Clinton agrees with that question. Says almost a topic in itself. Why even go back to the office? Why even go back to travel? Why spend on office space? What about the fear of people being close? So I don't know if you have any further comments on that at all.
Well, what I would say there in this case, I would say we are humans. It's we need to take advantage of all the opportunities in this case, but we cannot forget the human touch. What they call the social capital. When you know somebody, when you have met this person face to face, there is something that you build that that creates the social capital that you need to refresh and you need to charge after some time. That doesn't mean that you need to travel continuously, but what I think is every X time you need to meet with these people, with your employees, with your colleagues, face to face, because then the social capital will be rebuilt again, and that will help you to make the most from these relationships.
Absolutely, sort of more meaningful connections in that way.
Yeah, everything is about meaningful.
Sorry?
That everything is about meaningful.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely agree. So I think that's all the questions that we have from the audience there, unless anyone wants to sneak one in at the last second. But Oscar, thank you so much for your presentation. I think it was a really important one to listen to.
Thanks to you, Gemma, and sorry again for the technical problems.
Always happens, no worries. We're just pleased to have you here. All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye, thank you very much.
Bye.